evening, everybody. I call to order this regular meeting of the Elk Grove Park District. Today is January 14th, 2016. Kathy, can I have a roll call, please?
President O'Malley.
Here.
Commissioner Sauter.
Here.
Commissioner Wells.
Here.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Here.
Commissioner Cook.
Here. Okay, the next agenda item is a public hearing to receive public comments on the proposal to sell general obligation limited tax bonds of the district in the amount of $1,800,000 for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of the expenses thereto. All persons desiring to be heard have an opportunity to present written or oral testimony with respect thereto. The reason for the proposed issuance of the bonds is for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the existing land and facilities of the district, and for the payment of the expenses thereto. Are there any additional comments from the park commissioners? Is there any oral testimony or public comments concerning the proposed issuance of the bonds? Okay, all persons desiring to be heard have been given an opportunity to present oral and written testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of the bonds. I do need a motion and second that the public hearing be finally adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Sauter.
Here.
Commissioner Wells.
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Yes.
Commissioner Cook.
Yes.
President O'Malley.
Yes, the motion is carried and the hearing is finally adjourned. We're at approval of minutes. I've got 3 dates: December 10th, 2015 Committee of the Whole meeting and December 10th, 2015 regular meeting. Do any commissioners or staff feel that there's any changes to those 2 dates? Hearing none, I just need all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carries 5-0. I need a motion and a second to accept December 10th, 2016 closed session meeting.
That's 2015.
Yeah, 15, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Any changes from the commissioners? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wells.
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Yes.
Commissioner Cook.
Yes.
Commissioner Sauter.
Yes.
President O'Malley.
Yes. Are there any comments from the audience this time? Nobody here. Do any commissioners or staff have any correspondence to share? Hearing none, we're at recommendations for acceptance and approval. First up is the approval of payment application from Chicagoland Construction Incorporated for the 2015 capital project. This is Rainbow Falls Funhouse renovation project, the amount of $221,380.77. I need a motion and a
I'll make
second.
that motion.
Second.
And then before we have a roll call, any discussion, any questions on Ben? My only question would be, we got the update from Tom, seeing some of the cement work was not done. Your contractors are comfortable, you're comfortable that this work will be done, and there's plenty in reserve if the work isn't being done, holding back dollars.
Yeah, so he's watching the weather. I've been extremely happy with him. He's been, all the approvals for the piping, he did 4 layers of piping. All was approved by the village. He's got it compacted. He has the stoop for the access to the structure done in concrete. So he just needs to do the big pour. And like I said, he's watching the weather. He's gonna hit it as soon as he can. So if he gets a couple days like today in a row, he'll be out there. Yeah.
So what are we just holding back the 24,000?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold back 10%.
And that's enough for all the concrete that needs to be still laid?
Yeah,
So isn't it 48,000, Ben? Because it's
Oh, yeah, you're right.
24,000 to finish and then another
20
24,000 for the retainage?
yes, thank you. So it's about
Okay.
50 grand.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's the 24 seems a little light, okay.
Maybe you were already planning on doing this, but I'd like to get at least a consensus amongst the commissioners. Is there any other, before you do that last pour in April, May, whenever you get it done, can you make sure that you walk the grounds? If there's anything by the concessions, any other cement work that we do not have to bring a contractor out to fix anything? You know,
Yeah, so that's a great point. So we're gonna hire him to do the steps at Haddendorf Center. The ones that lead down to the gym, those need to be replaced, which is part of our capitals for this year, but we're just gonna have him do that when he does that pour. And then also there's some other concrete work at Rainbow that is on the capitals that we may have him do as well, so yes.
And I was thinking more the unforeseen that may happen in the next 2 months due to the winter weather that may, push a sidewalk up or something like that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Sauter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wells?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
President O'Malley?
Yes. Next up is approval of payment application from Train US Incorporated for the 2015 capital project, the pavilion boiler 1 and 2 replacement in the amount of $82,936.80.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion regarding this? I think you also sent out a memo, Tom. Only one got done, or is that?
Yes.
So can you explain that a little bit?
So they got the first one completed, installed in 2015, and then they've gotten the second one up and running. They were able to run, that was their goal, get one running, it can service everything we need, but they couldn't get the second one done in 2015, so they were able to get that done. Now they're just doing some tweaking and testing it, and yeah, we're pretty much at the end of the rainbow there, under the tunnel, so by this week, it all should be good. It's on the building management system, so now we can control it, which is a nice feature for us, so yeah.
Okay.
And there was no, what?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, there was no hiccups from what I understand from fitness center members, so that's great to hear, because I was a little concerned. They promised me there would be no water heating issues, and there weren't, so that was good.
I was gonna ask, what was the overall budget on this one?
106, I want to say, or 10. I think we were about 500 or 600 budget, something like that.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sauter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wells?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
President O'Malley?
Yes. Next up is items for information for the general public and the commissioners. We'll start with Tammy Miller, who will give an update on the leisure services.
So the new year kicked off with our New Year's Eve event. We had approximately 900 people, just a little over 900 people attend. That's our largest that we've had. We heard some very positive feedback on the events that we had, because we had some new events. We had an iceless skating rink, and obviously we've had some of the other things that we've done in the past, but it was very positive feedback for that night. This event also kicked off our 50th anniversary, and so we handed out the calendars that you guys have, which also had some nice feedback. We'll have events throughout the year in 2016 to help celebrate our 50th anniversary, so we're really excited about that. It was a great event. Other important dates that I'd like to mention: registration for preschool is going to be Saturday, February 6th. That's for those families that are residents and that are currently enrolled. It'll start at 9:30 in the morning with a lottery system, similar to what we did last year. And then in the afternoon of February 6th, we'll have the non-resident currently enrolled students, as well as the resident families who are not currently enrolled. But this year, we have a little bit of a different process in the fact that we will be taking registration forms and the necessary paperwork and documents, but we are not going to charge them the money, because we are in the process of transitioning, as you know, into a new registration software. And so the money will be due June 1st once that conversion or that transition has been accomplished. I think people will be very happy that they will have an enrollment, a priority enrollment, but they won't have to pay until June. So that's what we're doing for the preschool. We held auditions for Beauty and the Beast Junior this week. We are happy to say that we will be having 45, I gotta look at my notes, 45 children in that play, and the rehearsals start next Monday. So from Monday until March 11th. March 11th is the play, so please mark your calendars for March 11th, 12th, and 13th for Beauty and the Beast Junior. And we're taking a lot of kids, so that's really great. Our theater program's been very, very positive.
Will still be performed at Prairie Lakes?
Yes, in Des Plaines, Daddy-daughter date night will be held February 6th at the Garden Terrace. This is a special night for dads and daughters, that there's still time to sign up if people haven't done that yet. Many of our staff will be attending IPRA convention at the end of the month. We have 2 staff who are actually going to be presenting I call it a mini session. It's a 10-minute session, part of a full session. Lisa Sibic and Shannon Elsie will be presenting part of an iLearn. It's called iLearn. It's from IPRA that they've learned, and it's the STEAM project. STEAM for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. This is at 2 p.m. on Saturday, so for those of you that are there on Saturday, go see their session. And then finally, the Community Character Coalition is partnering with several organizations, including the Park District, to bring a carnival of exceptional character to the community. That's on January 30th, also that same weekend of IPRA convention. January 30th at the Pavilion from 5:30 to 7:30. This is made possible by the CCC, the Park District, Shin Yuan Temple, the Elk Grove Rotary, Tasty Catering, and lots of other volunteers. There are 36 agencies or organizations attending this carnival, and through a grant, the Community Character Coalition was able to rent carnival games. So there will be a lot of people in our building that night. So very exciting. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Tammy?
Regarding preschool, is that early this year, registration? Or,
It's usually in February.
I thought it was at the end of February.
It's usually the first part of February.
Okay.
So.
And then, is a letter going home to all the,
Yes, I actually have a preview of the
Okay.
letter right here.
because I attended last year and I remember people were still lining up. And
Yes.
so, they were like one of the first 10 and they got like a number 101.
Correct. So
And-
that's what a lottery is.
So just, exactly, but to educate them because they were getting nervous that they were 101 and they were like one of the first 10 in line, but yet they still got the classes they want because obviously.
Absolutely.
So just a letter to educate everyone so that they're not standing in line.
Yes, that letter's going out actually probably next week.
Okay, thank you.
Not every district has been going to the full-time kindergarten, the 5 or 6 of them, displays, et cetera, but how has that either harmed or enriched our program? I mean, numbers-wise with full-time kindergarten at the school
Full-day
districts?
kindergarten hurt our kindergarten program. And so what we've tried to do instead is we've tried to provide, especially on the west side in District 54, an opportunity for kids that would still like to come over where their siblings are at preschool. We call it an ACES program. So it's an after-school program, and we actually bus students that may have siblings already over at the Hattendorf. So we are busing them. It's like a kids club, only we can't do it in their buildings over at District 54, so we bus them over to the Hattendorf. And we've actually had a positive response with that. But yes, our kindergarten club is no longer, since both District 59 and 54 have full-day kindergarten.
Okay. Anything else for Tammy? Thank you, Tammy. Parks and Planning update, Ben Curcio.
Okay, so we talked about a few of my updates, but I'll go back to the gateway sign and the LED sign. Obviously, it's up and running. Because of the warm weather in December, they're able to complete a lot more of the brickwork. So they just have a little bit of that and the archway to do in the spring. And then irrigation will go in and landscaping. So they're ahead of schedule, which is nice. But if we continue to get warm weather, I've seen them out there working in 40-degree weather. So I just want to give you that update. Pavilion interior, I don't know if I should say 98% or 99%, but it's almost finished. There's just literally 2 or 3 items on the punch list that they're supposed to be completing within the next week. Small items that you wouldn't even notice, but the fountain was finally finished with a little bit of a struggle with that, which is disappointing. The project's been a little disappointing. We're 5 months in, but we're almost there. So my staff will be filling the fountain, so it should be running, I think, by tomorrow. And then we're going to do some, I'd call it decorative. I know Tammy can help me. I wasn't really involved in that. Grasses along the brick wall or the steps, if you will. So. Any questions on that?
The history of the park that's in the hallway, is that because of the 50th anniversary, or will that be permanent structure that's in the, I like it, very nice.
Yeah, it is part of our 50th anniversary, although we're going to keep it up for the year, and we may integrate other panels, but it is a semi-permanent, if that's what you want to call it. So it's permanent for this year, but then we hope to have more panels in some of our other facilities that show the history of those facilities as well. So yeah, it's really
very
been a
nice.
nice addition.
And then inside the gymnasium, what do you call it? The
Field house?
Field house, yeah. Right where the logo is for the park district. Are we, okay, we're gonna.
It's on the
okay.
list.
Okay, good.
Talked about the boiler replacement. It's completed. The fun house, we're almost there. Just the concrete pour. Last week, we had a kickoff meeting for all staff for capital projects, which is kind of a fun thing to get everybody in one room. And we discuss who's the lead. It's a little bit of we go into a little bit of the scope and also tentative completion dates. So everyone gets an opportunity to ask questions if they have any about projects in their facilities or in the parks. So, and then lastly, unfortunately, the ice rinks were closed today. Again, this has been one of those poor seasons for ice making, but we're confident if we get some colder weather, we'll be able to reopen. But yeah, this is not like last year where we were pretty much open the whole season. So that concludes my report.
Do you have individual teams that have their own responsibility when it comes to snow removal, that how you once delegated responsibilities for the maintenance of Windermere would be one crew, one team? This is going back a couple of years. Do you just have 2 or 3 or 4 individuals that have the responsibility of the pavilion, and a whole different crew has the responsibility of the Hattendorf, another crew has the entrance to certain playground areas?
So
or
we
do
have
they all rotate? How do you work
So we
that
have
out?
2 teams, and the department's divided literally down the middle, and we split them evenly. It's all full-time. And we have, we call team captains. So this year, Joe Brown and Joe Palmisano is the captain, and then obviously Guy and John oversee those teams, and we rotate Guy and John. They're on 2 weeks, off 2 weeks. And so those teams are in charge of the priority list, so the facilities, and then as they start to get that done, they move out into some of our smaller facilities and then parks and et cetera.
Is I guess I would always assume that the pavilion is your #1 priority.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, every year, depending on when the snow comes, you know, it's a battle because if people are already at the pavilion, it's tough to plow, and then we lose that opportunity, and then we got to wait till the next day, and then so we sometimes have snow that's in areas that people are wondering why we didn't plow it, but they don't realize there's been cars there all day, and you can't, you know. So we try to work around that as best we can. And I would say the village has been very cooperative this year about helping us salt the lots, so that's been a good positive.
Good. Any other questions for Ben? Thank you, Ben. Golf operations update, Tom Kloss, please.
We're in our maintenance and planning stages at the course right now. Obviously, no golf with the snow and cold, and no immediate plans to open anytime soon with temperatures forecasted 0 for Sunday. Grounds End, Jeremy's finishing up his horticultural planning for next season, ordering the flowers and plants for the course in the clubhouse. He's doing his winter maintenance on the equipment and the mowers, and then we're still finishing up maintenance on the golf carts, doing all the tune-ups on the golf carts that we do in the winter. You know, he's already started. One of our problems that we had last year was the part-time staffing on his end, so he's already been working with HR and trying to get a jump on getting people in place for next season. So they've been working on getting some flyers in different places to put publications, different avenues than they've done in the past. You know, hopefully try to stimulate some interest in those. So that once the season starts, we can come in with a full force. Permanent tee time info went out in December, so we're starting to get those contracts back in now. Right now we're working on contacting all our leagues and outings from 2015 that we don't have commitments from yet, trying to secure their dates for 2016 so we know what's available. We've got a gaming promotion that came out last week. That was a color postcard that went, there was 2,100 postcards that went out right around the course. The least there's a coupon on there to bring in for a free gift, and then we've got drink specials as well, weekday drink specials on the back, trying to stimulate some business in the winter in the bar. And we've also got a bags league that we've been trying to start this year at the course. We've had a lot of interest in it, and you know, like any new league or event, you know, that first year is always a struggle to get people to actually pull the trigger and sign up. So we are at 8 teams right now, so it looks like we are going to, those are 8 teams that are paid and signed up, so it looks like we are going to be a go, and that would start next Wednesday, the 20th, starting at 7 o'clock, and that'll be in the main event room. Obviously, the bar and the gambling portion will be open. Since it is a league, people, if they haven't signed up, they do need to sign up ahead of time because we have to do schedules and, you know, come up with prize pay portions and all that ahead of time. So Brian O'Malley and Jimmy Kavanaugh have been doing a really good job of trying to, you know, push that out there and get that word out to everybody. So.
2-man teams, is that what it is?
Yeah,
And then
it's
what do you
2-man
have to do,
teams.
beat your opponent 2 out of 3? Could you give it a couple details?
Yeah, it's 2-man teams. You know, with us only probably going to have somewhere around 10 teams. You know, unless we get a huge turnout. Right now, we're looking at doing, because if we just did 1 match a night, it'd go by way too quick. So we're going to increase the schedule so that each team will play 2 matches, 2 3-game matches, and we'll break them up. So you'll have 4. Depending on how many teams, you might have like 4 or 5 teams playing, and then the other 4 would be, you know, they'd be on break for a little bit, and then they'd flip, and the other teams would play each other while the other ones are on a break. So, you know, the goal is to have them there, enjoy themselves for a couple hours, not just come in for 1 hour, be done, and out the door. So.
And I would hope the goal would also be recreation, because a lot of people are good at bags.
Right.
But there's some people that are great at bags, and I think those would be the ones that would want to get in the league. So if you go in there with the feeling that you're just going to have fun, and we do have the gaming, and you know,
Right.
the bar's open, and there's sports on, and yes, at least you're inside in cold weather throwing bags. But if you think you're going to win it, there's
Right.
a
I mean,
lot
there's
of,
some people, like you said, there's some people.
that's
that
all they
are
do is they
really
play bags
good.
all summer long.
And that was some of the questions we were getting. People were saying, you know, okay, what's the prize money going to be? What's the scoring? Are the bags regulation? Are they, you know? So they're really into it, and they want to play in it. Some want to play in a competitive. Some are just looking. You know, we have some golfers that signed up that, you know, like you said,
Right.
just want something fun to do on a Wednesday in the winter.
Right, okay.
But yeah, you know, it's good that we've got 8 teams, and if we get, you know, I'd like to get a few more and still get up to like a dozen teams. But, you know, like I said, that first year is probably the hardest year. You know, they enjoy themselves. You get it out there again in the fall next year, and you get more teams to sign up, and you just keep building on it until you get that program where you got 20, 30, 40 teams every year.
And what is the actual entry fee per team? Is it 50 or 60 for both individuals?
65 for a 2-person resident team and 78 for a non-resident team.
Okay. $8 to $10 a night.
Right, it's a 7-week season, so it'll start the
Okay.
20th, it'll run through the last week in February. And,
Okay.
by
Hopefully
then
you'll get
maybe-
some people just in the next week or so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we've got a lot of people that keep saying, the 8 that we have are there, and we've got probably at least 6 or 7 teams that keep saying, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Like, well, get in, pull the trigger. So,
And it was at a point where it wasn't hindering the renting of the actual banquet facility itself on a Wednesday night?
no, and we actually did it on Wednesday because that's the one that we don't get any rentals.
Okay.
We've got one group that rents on Tuesday nights at least twice a month. They do in the winter months, so we didn't want to take away their rental time in their spot that they do. And then Thursdays periodically we'll get some events, like today we've got baseball out there. But-
Good. Did I interrupt it, or were you done?
That's really all I had. So.
Any other questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. Business services update. Rhonda Brewer, please.
This has been a busy week for us. We had the auditor coming on Tuesday to do some preliminary field work. They were just here for one day. They'll come again in February to do the rest of their field work. And this week started our kickoff for the rec track implementation. So Kevin put together a super team, which consisted of all the IT people, finance people, many of the rec department people, and we're involved in the training, and it's been training all week with the trainer from Vermont Systems. So his plan was to train all of the super team on the intricate details of the entire process so that when we roll it out to the lower level staff, the super team can help those staff members to learn it. And there's a lot to learn. But I think the coordinators and the rec members that were there yesterday did really well with it. So I think it's going well, and they'll be back again. He'll be back again in early February, I think, to do another week of training. So this will be a very intensive, ongoing project for 5 months. And that's all I have right now. Does anyone have any questions?
Hearing none, thank you. Executive Director update, Tom Busby.
Yes, I would like to list our top 20 accomplishments for 2015. Obviously, we have had many more accomplishments, but I don't want to spend the next half hour listing them all. So, in 2015, we completed our new website. The address is still the same, www.elkgroveparks.org. It is now responsive to mobile devices and also we've added a virtual tour on there for all our facilities. We also brought in a number of outsourced materials, such as our brochure and some of our newsletters. And this has increased the quality, reduced the errors, and also has saved us money in 2015. The Golf Scene cable TV show featured Fox Run Golf Course, which aired throughout the summer of 2015. We also dedicated a park to Jim Heffron, so we renamed Bartram Park the J.M. Heffron Park. We also had a bench dedication to Lou Smith, and that was out at Fox Run. Audubon Park Playground was replaced, and with our very first zip line in the Park District. We resurfaced a number of tennis courts and basketball courts with a new product, so we hope that extends the life of those particular courts. Pirates Cove Gatehouse improvements was completed in-house rather than being outsourced, which was the original plan, but the bids came in extremely high and the staff took it upon themselves to complete that in-house and saved us thousands of dollars. At the Hattendorf Center, the roof was replaced, the preschool flooring was replaced, and we also had repairs to the sewer pipe as well. The pavilion renovation was 98% completed in 2015. It looks great. Along with that, Jumps and Jiggles and the carousel was also renovated, adding a new theme and freshness in there. Pirates Cove has a new ride, and we are also recognized by Kaboom as a Playful City USA, only one of 3 communities in the state of Illinois to be recognized. We received a grant from Game Time for the Andrews Park Playground renovation, which will take place in 2016. We received a score of 98.67 from Perderma for our loss control review. We also received a grant from Perderma as well for a wind monitoring device. We had many computer upgrades throughout the year, VMware hosting, LAN upgrades, software upgrades at Fox Run, and also the EMV reader as well. Along with SpiceWorks, which is a system, a work order system for the marketing department. Lisa Civic was named Facility Manager of the Year through IPRA. Our athletic departments scored an exceed on all 5 unannounced Ellis audits.
Aquatics.
You said athletics, I think.
Oh, sorry, aquatics, sorry about that.
Aquatics did too.
The golf course had an increase of approximately 4,000 rounds from 2015 over 2014 season, which is the highest round total since about 2010. Part of the reason we added 5 new golf leagues and 9 permanent tee times with that. We completed the Hamilton Lakes water agreements, the First Baptist Church agreement, Kids Club agreement with School District 59. And I could go on, but I won't. So, it was a great year for the Elk Grove Park District.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. And the board's going to get together, and we've got our own list of accomplishments that we'll probably mention at our next meeting. But one thing that you were missing doing, we've only had in the last 40 years 4 executive directors. Jack Claes, and then I went to Barbara Heller, and I went to Mike Brotman. And in 2015, we had the handoff to Tom Busby. The board is ecstatic. We really believe we've made the right choice. Tom has been proving that to us. And we're looking forward to, the continued cooperation and excellence that Tom is providing us. So that also happened in 2015. So congratulations to you, Tom.
Thank you.
Any old business at this time? Hearing none. Any new business from commissioners or staff? Okay, we're at payment of the bills. I actually have 6 dates here. I've got a list of dollar amounts, so I need a motion and a second to approve December 9th, 2015 in the amount of $114,842.59. December 10th, 2015, the amount of $48,069.07. December 17th, 2015, the amount of $263,167.47. December 31st, 2015, the amount of $88,392.56. January 7th, 2016, in the amount of $133,333.41. And January 8th, 2016, in the amount of $116,000 exactly and 54 cents.
So moved.
Second.
Do any commissioners or staff have any comments or questions regarding these 6 sets of bills? Hearing none, Kathy, can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Wells?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Sauter?
Yes.
President O'Malley?
Yes. Our next meeting date will be Thursday, January 28th, 2016. It'll take place at 7 o'clock p.m. At this point, I need a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bianchi?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Sauter?
Yes.
Commissioner Wells?
Yes.
President O'Malley?
Oh, yeah. This meeting is now adjourned.
Excellent job on the calendar.